With the ongoing housing crisis and high inflation levels combined with an opioid crisis, there are some serious challenges for low income families, those with addictions, and the homeless. Joining us now is Ken Kissick. He is a co founder of Streets Alive Mission in Lethbridge. Ken, welcome back to Bridge City News. Great to have you on today.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Okay, so Ken, many of our viewers do know what Streets Alive mission is all about, but maybe some don't. So perhaps you can give us a snapshot of what you do here in Lethbridge.
Uh, Very quickly, we have two streams. One is the mission stream that deals with the vulnerable population. The other stream is helping people in recovery from the addictions. And just in the first 3 months, from January to the end of the March, we had 4,208 people or 4,208 visits to our services in
Wow.
the downtown mission from 1,182 individuals. We added 65 new clients. Within the recovery program, we have a waiting list of 104 people waiting for 55 beds that we currently have that are full. We did 15 intakes in that period of time. So it's high volume. We're the closet for the street people, and we are a faith-based recovery program that's abstinence based. So that's us in a nutshell.
Yeah, you are very, very needed, especially right now with the crisis that's going on. So, Ken, how bad is the opioid crisis in Lethbridge right now? Has it stayed about the same, or has it improved or gotten worse?
It's bad, and it's
Yeah,
getting worse.
yeah.
Uh, uh, the Lethbridge and Blood Reserve lost 153 people in
Oh,
2023 to
that's
opioid.
terrible.
It's awful.
That's devastating.
Yes, yes, and because all of those people were parts of families, so that's devastation just across the board.
hmm Okay, now one of the outreaches that you run, correct me if I'm wrong, is the Parkside Men's Recovery Home, right? So it's now recognized by the government of Alberta, and I'm told that this recovery center has an impressive success rate of 78%.
Uh, yeah, Parkside Home is part of our Recovery Road, which is the recovery program that we run for men and women. And our recovery program, we provide housing. This is one of the housing units, which is Parkside. It holds up to 16 men uh, at any given time.
Okay, that is an impressive success rate that you have there.
Uh, that is that's an overall success rate on an average over a year. So yes, we're very proud of it.
Okay, so with that said, maybe describe what happens on a day-to-day and weekly basis at a home like this. What kind of assistance is offered?
So what you're going to see is you're going to see individuals in both in the men and women's program that are taking programming. They're doing things like prayer and proverbs. They're doing recreational therapy. They're doing Genesis one-on-one process. So we have a number of people in one-on-ones. They're in group classes. They're in what we call addictions recovery, which is the theory part, the clinical part of that. And then there's a biblical worldview part. So right now we run about 50% of the program is clinical, 50% of the program is biblical worldview.
Wow. And the clinical portion of that, is that run by, counselors, psychologists? What type of professionals are
These
in
are
there?
all Everybody's in classes.
hmm
These are trained individuals that are trained in being able to manage group therapy. We do where we're looking for professional counseling, we will send them out to some of the agencies in town. But a large part, it's just group counseling, one on one. We're really trying to help them deal with the trauma in their life, walk them through it. It's the minimum is 120 days that we ask them to commit to, and then after that, we ask them to commit in 90-day chunks.
Wow. Okay. So that's a good chunk there for sure. Now, Ken, the men's recovery home apparently is in need of replacement, and I understand you're looking at a few options right now, including rebuilding on the current location, but a better option became available. Maybe fill us in a little
So
bit.
the current men's home, we purchased it in 1998. It was an old building at that time. Parts of the building were built in 1909. and it just is at a stage where it's run out of life. Any more money that we put into it isn't there. We were wanting to build on a lot that we also own right there, but we've since acquired an eightplex that will allow us to um, basically uh, renovate uh, a parking lot that's underneath and put an addition on it, and it would give us 32 beds in a combined atmosphere, and it's located in a more suitable location, not in the downtown.
Okay, Ken, so then if I understand correctly, you already have a large down payment on the building which would house that men's home along with what you're looking at 100 or was it $560,000 commitment from the city toward renovations?
So the project with purchase and renovation is $2.4 million. We have 560,000 from the city. We're waiting to hear on an $850,000 grant from the province. We've raised approximately $400,000, and so we need about another $600,000. By the end of May, we'd like to bring that in, and that will allow us to close out the purchase and then begin the renovation process.
Okay, well, that's a lot of money, and I'm sure donations would be helpful at a time like this, right? So, how can viewers donate to the cause?
We are running what we call our Coming Home campaign. If they go to the website www.streetsalive.ca, they'll see it on the top bar. Just click on campaign, and you can donate right there. Just mark it for the campaign.
Okay, and then can you also see the need for another building to house this stage 4 men who have worked through their addiction challenges and are re-entering society? So can you tell us a bit about the building that became available for this?
So there, in this whole process, we were in a process of consolidating our programs. We were spending $350,000 a year plus in lease payments, and we are now actively trying to acquire property where those lease payments will just go into operations. We had a generous donor who provided close to $1 million for us. That allowed us to purchase the Galt Manor, which is an eightplex located within the community, and we are already using that as stage 4 housing for a number of our people. So that's in place. The purchase of the eightplex and its renovation will solidify the program because we already own our women's program or our women's housing program. The Segway home is already renovated and paid for.
Okay, so that's at stage 4. So I'm assuming the stage 1 is those first 120 days that they have to commit to. And then would stage 2 be the additional 90 days that you were talking about? At what point do they get to stage 4? Maybe
Stage
take us
1
to.
and 2 are the first 120 days.
Okay.
Then stage 3 and 4 take the time after that. Stage
Okay.
3, they usually stay within our programmed housing, and then stage 4, little less accountability, no on-site staff, those kinds of things.
More autonomy. Okay.
And the
So,
next step from that is on their own.
right. So, Ken, how difficult is it for these gentlemen to find and keep a job that will be able to pay their bills?
The challenge isn't necessarily getting a job uh, to pay their bills and keeping that job. The challenge is finding a job that will help them continue on their recovery journey. Sometimes the jobs they had, the environment is not conducive to being able to maintain that recovery. There are places that are difficult, that they're high in things, and so it's trying to align them. We have an employment readiness program that we will run some of our individuals through because sometimes they haven't been employed for 3, 4, 5, 6 years. So there's about a 6-month program. Then we try and help them find work that's more conducive to what's going on. And of course, our stage 4 housing is affordable, so it's not market rent. So we're able to help them that way.
Okay, oh, that's wonderful. Now, your actual home base for Streets Alive is currently located right downtown across from the court building in Lethbridge. So maybe tell us about the new location and the building that you were blessed with.
So 30 years ago, God called us to the downtown core. He provided facilities for us because this is where the vulnerable needed the most help. and where it seemed like the most hopelessness was. In January of 23, he released us from here, and quickly, through a series of events, the El Dorado property on the north side, 17,000 square foot building, 2.59 acres came available, and we were able to pull the money together and have purchased it. We are currently leasing it back to the owners because they need to rebuild, but then we'll go in and renovate. The other thing that happened to us in the downtown is the needs has grown. Um, 30 years ago, we had 20 people on the street. Now our street population is in excess of 200. Uh, we were helping 10 or 12 people a day. Now we help 65 or 70. And so that we just needed more space. And so it's exciting. The opportunity for us is there. God is this project and everything else is something He has called us to do. But the reality is, this will only be done with His miraculous provision through His people. So those that feel called to help, to simply go to the website and tune in, click on the campaign. There's lots of information there, and you can choose to help however you want.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's exciting, but at the same time, the fact that there's a need for it, it's kind of like it's just so sad as well.
The difficulty is that 30 years ago, we were dealing largely with drugs that weren't going to kill you today. Today, we are dealing with drugs that will kill you instantly, and depending on the batch that you get. So the need becomes more desperate to help these people get away from the drug life and to be able to move them into something that's a lot better.
The stories you must hear on a daily basis, Ken.
We see them on a daily
Yeah,
basis.
yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
yeah.
So, getting back to your building plans, how are all these plans sitting with the city, like the municipality, and the local community? Is there
So
opposition to your plan, or are you generally getting support for this?
um, for the most part, we have support. There's
Okay.
still always hurdles.
Hmm.
The Eight Plaque project requires a rezoning, and that's in process. But we had a neighborhood meeting, very favorable. The neighbors completely understand what we're trying to do because we've already been there 3 years, and so they're just looking forward because we're going to upgrade the building. It'll become a nice feature within the community. It's 40 years old now, so it needs some TLC, but then it'll look like a new structure.
No, that's wonderful. That is definitely certainly exciting. Absolutely. Kind of going back to the basics here of what you guys do, is it completely voluntary for these people to come to you?
Yes.
As it were.
Yeah, all of our services and our recovery programming and everything else is voluntary. Nobody is forced to do it, and nobody is turned away. Um, Obviously, we're a faith-based group, but that's not a criteria for them participating. We're more than willing to help anyone who wants to receive our help. However, we make it clear we are biblical-based programming, and a lot of times, most of the people that come in uh, uh, find find their help in Christ because He is really the true healer that can help them out of the trauma and the things in their life.
Hmm. Do you find that sometimes people have to come back again and again and kind of redo the program with you?
Obviously, not everybody is successful off the hop.
Hmm.
We call ourselves the organization of a million second chances. Uh, so yeah, we'll bring. There's a process, but we'll always bring people back and through. But we have a pretty high success rate of those that are committed to getting through it.
Hmm.
Um, you know, we love them and accept them where they are, and then we work
Yeah.
with them, challenge them, keep them accountable, and again, we have that success rate that we believe is really great.
Right. We did talk a lot about men's help there, but you help women as well, of course, don't you?
Yeah, we have up to we have up to 14 women in the same kind of a program. Some of the programming that we do is joint, and some as a close. But yeah, and the women are at about the same rate of success as well. Um, our residences are homes. That's what we try to create them to be, and we create that home environment, and and we give strength to it, and we're very excited about a lot of the successes. We are seeing families reunited, men getting visitation and custody rights back to their children, uh, those kinds of things. And this is just all God and his handiwork as people commit themselves to allowing him to heal them.
Fabulous. Maybe really quickly remind us how viewers can donate to the cause.
Streetsalive.ca. Click on a donate button, and you can donate through Canada Helps. You can donate online. You can send us a check. The address is on the website, and if not, it is 323 4th Street South, Lethbridge, Alberta, T1K2G1.
Wonderful. Thanks so much, Ken, for speaking with us today. So great to have you on again.
Thank you very much for having me. It was great.
Ken Kissick is the co-founder of Streets Alive Mission in Lethbridge. I'm Jeanette Roche on behalf of all of us here at Bridge City News. Thanks so much for watching.